Viewers, drop your location and the exact time you're tuning in because you're going to want to remember where you were when this story hits its stride. The morning light on Lake Harmony is all soft gold and rippling reflections when Ben Carter Quiet Man, ex-military, steps out of the Morrison cabin with a duffel of maps, radios, and survey gear. He's been here 3 weeks, measuring, recording, jotting down data for what he calls a geological survey. Historians still argue whether geological survey is just a polite term for, I'm doing something you don't have clearance for. Either way, Diana Cross, Queen Bee of the Maple Street HOA, has been tracking his every move like a hawk with a grudge. Curtains twitch whenever he arrives, and by week 2 she's armed with a telephoto lens, a yellow notebook, and a measuring tape that she whips out like some people brandish pepper spray. Ben's son Tommy calls her a suburban stalker. Maybe she thinks he's hiding treasure under the cabin. Not far off the mark, though the real payload isn't gold bars. Diana escalates from peeking through hedges to detailed diagrams of antenna heights, driveway angles, even the distance from Ben's porch to the nearest fire hydrant. She's not just nosy, she's methodical. Quirky fact: the ancient Egyptians used knotted rope to measure land boundaries, and watching Diana wrangle that 50-meter tape feels like a slapstick remake of the same ritual. On day 18, she makes her move, emerging in a power pantsuit at 7 a.m., clipboard ready. She rattles off charges: unauthorized electronics, surveillance, trespassing, and demands ID. Ben's calm, 25 years in uniform, teaches you not to flinch when civilians play prosecutor. Then she calls the police, her voice painting him as some armed menace plotting against the neighborhood. The live stream starts wobbly camera, half the shots aimed at the ground, and neighbors gather like it's free theater. Mrs. Rodriguez leans in to tell Ben this is Diana's signature move: create chaos, scare owners into selling cheap. The sirens arrive, Diana grinning like the curtains about to rise on her big finale. Out steps Officer Miguel Santos, steady eyes, the stance of someone who's done drills in desert heat. There's a flicker of recognition when he sees Ben. Diana launches into her accusations, waving her clipboard like Moses with the tablets. Santos listens politely, then asks Ben for ID. The second he reads the name, his whole posture changes, snaps to attention, salutes. Good afternoon, Lieutenant General Carter, sir. The street goes silent, except for the sound of Diana's jaw hitting the metaphorical floor. Tommy's eyes go wide with pride. Diana sputters that it's impossible. Santos explains, clear enough for every gawking neighbor. Ben once saved his unit in Kandahar. In that moment, Diana's perfect little narrative starts crumbling, and she knows it. The salute hangs in the air like the final note of a national anthem, and you can almost hear the gears grinding in Diana's head as she recalculates her attack. She tries to recover with, military rank means nothing in civilian neighborhoods, which is like telling a surgeon his scalpel is just a butter knife. Santos gives Ben a nod that says, I've seen her type before, and heads off to another call, but not before warning quietly, sir, she doesn't quit when she's cornered. Historians still argue whether those words were tactical advice or just a prayer. Sure enough, within 20 minutes, Diana's driveway turns into mission control. She's pacing with her phone, firing off emails faster than a teenager texting under the dinner table. A nervous young assistant arrives with a laptop and camera gear, like they're about to shoot a corporate training video. Turns out, she's not just a control freak, she's a developer under pressure from an investor named Mr. Jang, whose idea of negotiation might involve state dinners and classified dossiers. She's promised him lakefront properties for a resort project, and quirky tidbit has been measuring lot lines with the fervor of a medieval monk illuminating manuscripts, hoping to force owners into panic sales. Enter Dr. Emma Walsh, the silver-haired neighbor at the far end of the street, who has the eyes of someone who knows exactly how many lies have been told before breakfast. She drifts over to Ben, casual as if asking about the weather, and drops 23 years CIA, Foreign Intelligence. Project, lakeshoring, any bells. She's not fishing, she already knows. Inside the cabin, she scans his equipment with the precision of someone who can tell a seismic monitor from a panini press at 10 paces. She even finds the hidden compartment behind an old fishing calendar because, of course, there is one full of documents stamped with classification levels that should never be anywhere near a weekend fishing spot. Emma reads aloud. Project Lakeshore is a joint operation tracking foreign espionage under the cover of tourism and property development. Target? Chinese intelligence assets snapping up real estate near U.S. military sites. Ben's here because Diana is either a witting asset or the most gullible HOA president in the Midwest. Emma's laptop hums to life, pulling up a file on Jiang Wei. Corporate facade, but trained at the PLA Strategic Support Force Academy, with 6 similar acquisitions in his wake. Diana's company? Funded through offshore accounts tied to Chinese state-owned enterprises. By the time Tommy wanders in that evening, curious about the day's circus, Emma has sent a priority alert to the FBI. Tommy, ever the observant 16-year-old, says kids at school are talking about his dad being a general and that Diana's been offering crazy money for houses if people sign now. Ben explains, in the gentlest terms you can when discussing espionage over dinner, that sometimes protecting the country means upsetting people like Diana. Tommy takes it in stride, but his eyes say he knows the stakes are higher than property values. By morning, the quiet hum of Lake Harmony has been replaced by the buzz of an HOA meeting that feels more like a political rally. Diana stands front and center in a Navy power suit, projection screen ready, armed with a slideshow that twists 3 weeks of Ben's survey work into evidence of criminal surveillance. She's even got satellite images with arrows and circles impressive if they weren't pure fiction. The room eats it up until the back door swings open and Emma steps in, laptop under her arm, wearing the calm expression of someone about to lob a truth grenade. She links into the projector without asking. Historians still argue whether the audible gasp from Diana was from the breach in etiquette or the knowledge her script was about to be shredded. Emma lays out a counterpresentation: financial records, intercepted communications, property patterns linking Diana and Pacific Rim development to foreign intelligence interests. She keeps her tone neutral, like she's briefing Congress, but the evidence hits like a drumline in a library. Then Tommy appears, clutching a USB drive and that stubborn look teens get when they've found something adults missed. His social media sleuthing uncovered coded messages between Diana and her partners, plus the piece de resistencia livestream slip where she accidentally broadcast part of a call with her foreign backers. As his files hit the big screen, Santos walked back in with 2 more officers. His announcement is short and surgical. Ben's work here is under federal authorization, and interference could mean federal charges. Diana's phone rings mid-speech, and the caller ID freezes her mid-breath. It's Mr. Jiang. She slips toward the exit, but Emma isn't done. Final slide. Blueprints of Diana's resort, featuring communications towers with no business in a vacation spot. That's when the FBI sweeps in. Agent Sarah Chun reads the charges: espionage, wire fraud, FARA violations, while Diana fumbles for her measuring tape, announcing it's exactly 48.7 meters to freedom. The tape tangles around 2 agents before she finally gives up, and the room exhales. Within hours, Mrs. Rodriguez is voted in as the new HOA president. The resort project is killed, and neighbors realize they dodged more than a zoning dispute. Santos gets commendations, Emma's retirement cover is toast, and Tommy's a minor local legend for his digital forensics. That evening, the sunset bleeds orange over the lake as Ben and Tommy sit on the cabin porch. Tommy asks if they're staying. Ben says there's always another mission. Sure enough, his secure calm buzzes with new orders. Colorado mountains, another cabin, another neighbor of interest. Tommy grins. This time, we'll know what to watch for. And in the fading light, the measuring tape left behind in the community center feels less like junk and more like a trophy from a battle won. The water laps quietly against the shore, and the chaos of the last few days melts into a calm that feels earned. The air is cool, scented with pine and the faint smoke of a distant fire, and the lake holds the colors of dusk like a secret. They don't rush to speak. Sometimes the best way to end a storm is to let the silence stretch, to watch the light change, to breathe as if the world's been reset. Whatever waits in Colorado will come soon enough, But for now, there's the sound of crickets, the steady rhythm of water against the dock, and the knowledge that together, they've faced worse and come through intact. Somewhere out there, another story is starting, but tonight, here, the chapter closes on a lake gone still.